You missed a good show before. I kept...
He fucked the tree up! Fucked it good! It was porno!
Shoot that shit at Kuno, Pigonaut. Kuno does...
There are several footprints in the mud, left by work boots. Anywhere from 6 to 12 pairs have walked here. There are several footprints in the mud. Wow. There are several footprints in the mud. Wow. There are several footprints in the mud.
Don't beat your...
There are several footprints in the mud. Wow. There are several footprints in the mud, left by work boots. Anywhere from 8 pairs of boots have shuffled back and forth in the mud. Where else have we seen a gang of men in work boots? That's right. 1. Standard work boot. Steel reinforced toes. Number 46. Is it? They didn't even bother to change boots. 2. Standard work boot. Steel reinforced toes. 3. Hobnailed work boot. 4. Standard work boot. Number 45. 5. Another standard work boot. Reinforced toe. 6. Light as air. Same make of boot. But number 41. Better late than never, detective. The whole world is 7. The glowing outline of a standard work boot. Number 46. The imprints are 8. Another standard work boot. Number 44. There's an aberration in the pattern of the sole.
7 sets of tracks, right? The Hardy Boys were here. That's all? Interesting. Then one of them seems to be missing.
A leader like Titus doesn't let one of his guys out of sight easily, especially at a time like...
I'm guessing that's the skinny Hardy Boy. The one with his front teeth missing. Yes, well, he did look a bit like a rat, you're right. I could still be wrong, but I'm probably not. 200. This could be the combined weight of 2 people, one carrying the other who's tied up. Let's say...
He might be right. 200 kilograms of living weight is unlikely.
Possibly, yes. Interesting. Let's name it the Odd Soul. Someone operating a workbench with a pedal? Like a joiner at the harbor.
He regrets it the moment he says it.
No, it's not. Forget I said it. Perhaps it could be a driver. A driver would wear out the right shoe before the left. The accelerator is on the right.
He doesn't seem to hear you. Looking south toward...
We should keep our eyes open around the traffic jam. See whether anyone strikes out as a potential suspect. A week, maybe? 7 days would fit the time frame provided to us by the caller, who reported the hanging.
It is not
I pulled last week's forecast for coastal Havashol. 7 days below freezing.
correct again. Sub-zero temperatures would preserve the tracks in a good state.
What do I think? A mob of people brought something heavy to the tree. One of them was carrying the victim. Then, after hoisting him up, they stood in a semicircle facing his direction.
Indeed. They all...
So far, so good. Only one thing missing.
Of course, there were 8 tracks, but there are only...
Which one is missing, do you think? I'm going to say it was our Odd Soul. Yes, I doubt the Hardys are going to tell us who this person is. For now, it's best if we just keep our eyes open. I'm sure our investigation will eventually lead us to the Odd Soul.
The corpse lies on the ground among the remains of an absolutely demolished pinewood branch. It's gently...
Mr. Measurehead has done a good job. Nothing is too broken or compromised. The victim is ready for a field autopsy. Yes. 1. Investigation of the scene. 2. Initial examination of the victim. 3.
The fuck are they on about?
Cop's gonna cut his shit up.
No, you and I are detectives. The honorary rank of detective signifies our ability to handle the entire incident chain, from an honor and a burden attached to your rank once you've proven yourself able, usually after 5 to 8 years of field work. Your station would not have assigned.
The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
Come on, officer. You know what a field autopsy is. You've done 100 of them. Unfortunately, no. They are better than nothing. Tell you what, I perform the anatomical side of things while you will take notes. That's right.
You knew it because you inspected your ledger. The lieutenant is relieved you know the protocol. The dead man stares in silence as you crack open the ledger. The bright red paper is covered in boxes and lists, describing the condition. Above those, an 11-field info form needs filling out first. It begins with,
That's you.
the corpse is indifferent to your scribblings, just lies.
KK57. Next. NA. Next. NA. Roughly 50.
The corpse looks ageless, like meat, teeming with opportunistic microorganisms, letting out a foul-smelling.
Mondial.
The pudgy mess of curdled meat looks neat.
Fucky!
Male.
Pigs can have sex!
Nor does he look male, with his pregnant belly and
We're still going with March 4th. 51. What else? 9. Body identified by is non-applicable.
KK57 0503.
None. At least not after the initial exam.
A strange word. Treatment.
Interfering with the body's position.
How did you not know that? Aren't you a cop? Don't overdo it. It's okay to be unsure.
They'd have to have incapacitated and carried him over. This man was more than...
Your central nervous system recognizes this gesture. It's the stations of the breath. Somewhere in Jamrock North, a small wood shed behind Rosencrantz Row. Lieutenant Nick Foyer. Elsewhere yet, an obese female sits in a wicker chair, her silhouette bull-like against the window. Outside, Grand Coudon. The building is tall, 7 stories, wind-wrapped in solitude. Most of the apartments, and so, all across Jamrock, Coal City, GRIH.
We should start the post-mortem.
The corpse cannot feel Kim's hand on his chest. It no longer meaningfully interacts with its surroundings. A thicket of boxes and lists on red
Clothes. The deceased wears armored boots and white briefs. The make of the briefs is Babrodin, I think. Let's see.
See, it's happening.
Babrodin, yes. Inexpensive.
The disappointment is palpable. The red-haired.
The rest of the clothes have been removed post-mortem by scavengers in order to get to the victim's ceramic armor. Officers are in search of the missing pieces. Removal of...
Patience. After the autopsy, before the body is taken away, there will be a window of opportunity.
Tattoos. The upper torso is covered in a single, continuous tattoo, resembling a map of the night sky. The assistant has a color photograph of the markings, to be added to the case files as document A1. The photo is taken. The deceased has a cargo lashing belt around his neck, tied with a hangman's knot. Color well-nourished, athletically built, measuring 1.8 meters. generally consistent with age, about 50. Preservation is good.
The spine is bent more than the lieutenant compensated for. This buster's actual height is about 1.85. And no, you could not take him straight on.
Of course, I undercompensated. Body hair is light brown. Distribution is consistent with age. The deceased had male pattern baldness. Hair is combed back, short.
His hair feels wet, soaked with rain, cold to touch. Not that different.
Lividity is consistent with hanging. The head is congested. Contusions are present on the head, chest, and thighs.
Fucking low velocity. You think Kuno doesn't know what you're talking about? Talking shit about Kuno's velocity.
In addition, there are bite marks on the face, scalp, and chest, consistent with predation. Ligature mark. The steel wiring. There's too much of it. We need to remove.
You got just the right tool for that. The chain cutters. The hanged man lets out a joyous little bubble of rot from his nose.
Always good to think ahead. Now, we need to cut the belt to see the ligature mark below.
See, my pig is gonna
No, he ain't. Your pig's a boring fuck.
The belt is equally tight around the whole circumference of his neck, swelling over the edges like white. After some deliberation, you sink the cutters into the knot tying the belt together. Snap! The knot is slashed. Another cut and the belt falls apart like a flower bouquet, revealing the dead man's neck.
The rope rises to a point, leaving a gap in the ligature mark. The suspension point is in the back of the neck.
As it ought to. This is where it...
Hemorrhaging is observed on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. The mark is... Chest is intact. Normal contour. Abdomen is protuberant. Pelvis intact.
No!
I fucking knew it!
This is clearly what they've been waiting for. Ever since the...
Genitalia is male and unremarkable. No evidence of injury. Ah yes, your hunch before. We can have a semen analysis requested from processing, if that's what you meant. No, you weren't, officer. That would be preposterous.
The corpse with his pants down does not have an opinion on the subject. All he has is genital. The dead man's penis is average-sized, congested from the downward collection of blood. The testicles are uneven in length, hanging under... You should touch it. Doesn't feel like anything. Just...
My pig's so fucking ill right now.
Oh, your pig's pretty sick.
This wasn't necessary. What's going on here? Why are you doing that? The lieutenant is unaware of what's happening in your head and why you're touching it. He merely expects you to...
Back is symmetrical and intact. Upper and lower extremities are intact, but the AC...
Bullets have bitten little pieces out of him. It must have been excruciating.
In addition, I see smaller, residual scars, too numerous to count, covering about 30... We have a... Last item. Hands. Hands are clean. No sign of a recent struggle. I was. Maybe I'm just not seeing them. Ooh. That's all for the external. Well done. What next? Central nervous system. I have nothing. Do you have anything on this man's central...
You don't even have a joke.
Musculoskeletal. Purge fluid is coming from the mouth. Not injury related. Eyes and...
With his eyes almost closed, the lieutenant puts his hand on the dead man's throat.
Yeah, jack that fucker!
The hyoid bone is fractured. The rest of the musculoskeletal system is intact. Respiratory system.
He's really doing it. The dead man's teeth cut.
Oral cavity shows no lesions. The victim has received dental implants.
From here, it looks as though the clown-faced man is screaming. The tendons of his jaw are torn apart. Hyoid, no scream. No sigh of relief rises from the darkness inside. It's no you don't. You can keep it in. You can keep anything in. You manage to suppress the contractions trying to enter your stomach.
There are ancient mysteries down.
Hemorrhaging present in mucus. Hepatobiliary, NA. Are you a hepatobiliary expert? Neither am I. That's it. Same for toxicology and serology, unless you have untapped reservoirs of knowledge there. We already have one test as per regulate.
Pigs requested semen like...
Is he touching it again? What is wrong with these mucus?
At a request, then, we'll know if drugs or poisons remain in his blood. At this stage, I doubt processing will find anything, even if it was cardiovascular. The body exhibits heavy lividity. Blood has gathered in the gastrointestinal. Digested semi-solid food in stomach. Voila. What's next on the list? Let's see. We have bite marks, contusions on the head and chest, and a ligature mark encircling the neck. Head, chest, and scalp bite mark injuries. Predation by birds has caused damage to... And your opinion, officer? Agreed. Next injury. So, the scalp bleeds from a post-mortem head injury. A stone. The injury does not have the rim of an early inflammation.
At maximum...
Has confessed to causing it at maximum velocity.
Coagulated blood sticks to his scalp and chest, where the countless stones have hit the dead man. Beneath.
Right. Next. A dark red abraded ligature mark encircling the neck, with a gap on the nape measuring. I see hemorrhaging on the skin, above and below the ligature mark.
Below the note, 2 customary boxes wait to be ticked. The man's head jerked. What was that about no chlorine around the neck? You'd be chlorine for your life.
That's it. We have established cause of death. Let's wrap this up. I pronounce this field autopsy over. Well, we established probable cause of death. We requested a test to be run on the genitals. That was de règle. The results should... We were thorough with the list of injuries too. We described them all in detail. What is there to...
Oh yeah, well done, Master Detective. Maybe a drink is in order?
I need a copy of that autopsy form. Then I will drive him for processing.
He's thinking, did I miss something?
Shoot, Looney Rooney. Oh yes, Kobo me Lobo. In the gift hall, just a small gulp away. My beloved Kobo. A small gulp. Come back later, Kobo. Amuse yourself with my frank manners and my memento mori features. If possible.
I thought we decided to leave it to processing. Let's not turn this into some kind of circus.
Kingdom of Conscience. The Kingdom of Conscience will be exactly as it is now. Moralists don't really have beliefs. file cabinet stands steady as ever, and the drawer. The file cabinet stands steady. The drawer. The file cabinet stands steady as ever, and the unlocked drawer slides out to greet you. Whatever's hidden here is hidden well. Concentration isn't enough. Only a trained accountant. It appears to be a to-do list. Remember, Leo, Everart's shoes. All items on the list have been crossed out, and the note itself is crumpled.
One of his aides must have left it.
What is so special about this? Borscht. Code for drug. Remember, Leo, Everart's shoes. All items on the list have been crossed. The drawer slides shut.
For something, Hunt?
You could push him by asking him to show you the soles of his boots. He definitely looks like someone capable.
Been admiring the stompers, Hunt?
On the bottom of the man's boots, you see the wind howls over the Bay of Revachol, a cascade of cold air flowing through the city street.
It's Revachol. Custom made. Cost me a pretty penny. You'll see when the time comes, officer. True, Patrick?
Technically, you're stumped.
I know you people don't understand.
Right to work! The woman is...
Huh? What is it? What?
Still here. Stuck in this damn jam, my man. What's up?
You see a Samaran street vendor surrounded by a motley assemblage of goods. The name Sileng.
Happy shopping, officer. Everything's cool. The good.
From out on the bay, a cool wind gathers. It sweeps in.
You're very cool. Bang, 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 bang. You're right, officer. 100%. No playing around then. Strictly business. Me? It's a boring story, officer. Who cares? A very sharp officer. I'm Serais from the sea guy.
The apricot suzerainty is what the Sea Guy archipelago is commonly known as in Revachol.
No, apricots come from sea guy. My grandma used to grow them. But sea guy, speaking of, why not support an
Well, if it's for his grandma,
drugs? I don't. Unless you're into drugs, of course. In which case, drugs are excellent. Mwah! Tasty. That's so cool. You investigating the local drug trade like some cool narc? But I am not a lorry driver. I am just a street vendor. Who said that? It's the fat racist, right?
So you admit you're a lorry?
No, I just said I work harder. Okay, maybe I'm a lorry driver too. A little. But that exactly. It's such a small part of my life. It's in the rear view mirror now. Nothing. I told
And what?
road. You know.
there's more here. He's afraid of this crowd, whoever they are, more than he is of the racist lorry man.
Look. There's bad people doing bad things here. That's all I know. Please don't get me into this mess. I've spent 15 years working my way up. It's a she, okay? The other drivers call her the lady driver. You're better off staying away from her. The way they... All of them. I don't know.
Who exactly is talking about this lady driver of yours? The racist or the other one with the tattoos?
All of them. Even the ones who've left. I don't hang out with them. I don't remember who has tattoos. I don't know. Maybe.
It could be. She was strange.
All right. I scored. Let's cap this off with a purchase. You can walk away from here with funky sunglasses, detectives. Both of you. You deserve it.
Still here, stuck in this damn jam, my man. I don't want to talk about that. Man, I was hoping it isn't going to be her. All I can say is, she isn't around here anymore. She isn't some evil... I didn't, man. I told you I was...
He still is, hoping. It's just wishful thinking on his...
Thank God I don't know. People here call her the lady driver. She... a friend? An acquaintance. I don't know. She was the only person in this damn jam I could talk to. She's someone I don't want to rat out. A youngish woman. Gruff.
What color hair?
Blue and violet. Died. It was violet when she got here. Damn, I don't want to... Please just let it go.
We can't just let it go.
That's how it always is with you, isn't it? All part of the investigation.
It won't come to that. We won't pursue.
I don't believe you. She's got the darkness in her. That young?
She shared.
Yes. Which is why I don't want to snitch on her. It's snitching, man. I know what it is. I heard the rumors. I saw the other drivers looking at me strange when we talked. And she told me too.
Did this violent life include drug trafficking?
Well, it looks like it did now. But we didn't talk about that. We talked the way it worked. The trouble...
The pain it was causing her.
Fuck, man. Go grill someone else with these questions, okay?
He's right. There are other... Push Tommy and it will break his heart. Now is not the time to focus on feelings. You need that info, son.
You're not gonna put a bullet in your head if you blow it, are you? Because she's...
I wouldn't be so sure. Imagine it. An explosion of stars.
Thank you, friend. Wow, this makes me feel like I should pick up smoking again.
The woman is still hunched.
Huh? What is it? What do you want? Did you just call me?
She clearly doesn't think she's a lady. Don't repeat it.
I'm not that either, Sheriff. I've gone too far from it all to remember. I'm only terrifying to small children and to those who used to know me. Because they can no longer recognize the person. The big ones, the trucks. There's no women, and in the middle of this town, there's a ghostly...
You feel very cold suddenly, as if standing face to face with a terrifying adversary. Then,
How should I know? Do I look like I spend a lot of time with the other communers sniffing around? Oh, Sim.
something in her is pulling towards some unknown rest state. She
For something odd? Come to tell me to fuck off again? I don't know what you're talking about. He did something. He stole his employer's goods, and another...
He's been expecting this. He's really
Listen up, fuckwits. You don't scare me. You cops don't run Revachol West. You don't run Martinez. You don't run anything.
No. He means
The name resounds like a bell in the air. A duck looks like the lieutenant.
Yeah, him.
Then I presume you are familiar.
Yeah, they're his little bitches. He's got them all over the unions.
Not just the unions. He has peonies everywhere. Some say he even has them in the RCM.
You're not peonies. You wouldn't be.
No, of course not. We are not peonies. But if we were, and one of Madre's drivers were to be stealing from him, it's not a hard job. It won't take a long time. It won't make Padre Madre angry.
I'm not scared of you or the mob. I'm under the protect.
You've seen that corpse in the ceramic armor there.
Nah, you wouldn't just leave him out there if you...
The lieutenant turns. I've softened him up as best I could. Now it's on you to finish the job. Men like this only respect two things: strength and fear. Time to turn up the volume.
Fuck you, I told you.
There. His voice grows smaller as yours.
Look, fuck you, man. It's some lorry down there. Green.
When did she go?
I don't know. I don't even know her name. She just rolls with the fleet and acts like...
Now it's not a big deal for him anymore.
Past the monument. Down there. The Green Temple. Now leave me the fuck alone, okay?
A small temple by the monument. Green. Let's get...
Looks like he got his adrenaline up, too. This green found, A to Z, contemporain, is parked in the
This must be the one he told us about. Unless he was lying.
The glass on the side windows is tinted and covered. It feels like you're peeking into someone's home residence. Inside it's private. The door is locked. The handle looks shiny, like it's...
Use the pry bar to smash the window. This has been hard enough. No need to make it any harder.
With a firm grip, you raise the pry bar, a glint of light catching on the tip. Call down the hammer of truth and justice. Release your... The window shatters, and droplets of glass fly everywhere.
Subtle.
The smell of cigarettes and perfume welcomes you. The cabin inside is plastered with old movie posters. Actresses smile from the walls. These are movie posters featuring starlets from long-forgotten films. One of them particularly catches your eye. A centerfold of an ingenue. The actress is draped in a sheathed dress, one of her shoulders bared. The faded remains of an autograph run across the... A feeling of tenderness washes over you. Wait, doesn't she resemble someone you know? But you can't put your finger on. The actresses and the rare actor all smile you a warm goodbye. Looks like the frequency dial is absent. It requires a...
Strange. There are so many radio stations saved here. Must be for contacting an entire fleet of lorrymen, for example. This looks like we are dealing with an impressive organizational tool. Doesn't look like it. It's complete.
The smell of 1,000... You wedge yourself under the steering wheel to get a better look. Seems like the few tools lying around here. A hammer, a pair of pliers, but one odd detail does catch your eye. A piece of sandpaper has been glued to...
Sandpaper? A novel technique. Must be to offer some extra grip to the driver's... Yes?
Do the honors, he thinks. Connect it yourself.
Which means that the missing lady driver was present at the lynching. Now we know for certain who is the missing 8th person at the lynching. Do you think that Hardy and his boys could also be involved in the drug operation? Understood. We should still go and see what Titus has got to say on the matter. Are we finished with...
The movie stars are still smiling from the walls. A metallic drawer slides out from the seat. It's empty. It's an issue of Petit Ferique from last Wednesday. It looks like an article ripped out from a radio enthusiast magazine. These formulas look oddly painful.
The Uland frequency system? I've never heard of that before. I know of FM, AM, UKV, but...
The pull-out toolbox slides back into it. You close the rust.
Great. I think we got everything. A word, detective?
It's clear you like the hard stuff, Brota. Lower intestine? The term is fascism, Brota. Many things, but it's mostly about trusting your gut. Yes, women, men of war. You don't like them. That's what fascism boils down to. The rest is also important. Stomach truth. You're having a stomach truth. Because you've said the hard things that others won't say, the good things, you've said them. Okay, yes, let's call it that. Good. You're going to keep your vooz, right? Keep your vooz, brota. For the nation, smart. Best not to mention the woo men too often. That's why you're the head and I am the stomach. Of course you are, Bruta. Of course.
I saw you poking around in Lady Driver's lorry. She in trouble? It's that bad. Man, what should I do? What should I do to help her? Yeah, maybe I should just keep my head down and work on my rhymes while I can. Oh, you know. Tommy Laham's gonna be a musician. Sprechgesang. Tommy Lahm was taken. My real name's
It's more him. The man taps his fingers rhythmically against.
All right, we've finished here. Let's quickly debrief and go over what we found, so we don't do it in front of the company rep. Honestly, I'm quite worried by what we've seen so far. The evidence seems to point to a rather... I'm especially intrigued by that radio transmitter, particularly the I'm not sure what the Ulan frequencies are all about, but they may hold some significance. Perhaps it's a better...
Listening in on your calls.
And last but not least, it looks like the Hardy Boys knew this driver, as we know that she was present.
The probe and the case converged, he thinks.
As elegant as they are...
Don't be fooled. Desire always plays a role.
Yes, well...
Unimportant.
As
Don't be fooled.
Yes, well...
Unimportant.
Like Joyce told us, yes, logistically. But don't expect to bust this open during our stay here. At best, this is an angle we can use against them. We should return to the murder case. See what Joyce tells us about the lynching. When we are... There are more than enough grounds to start an official investigation. Sometime later, when we... The fact that one hasn't started already gives me pause. An investigation, I mean. Especially if the Madrid grouping... All the same, I don't like the idea of internal affairs descending on the matter. That won't help anyone. Debrief over. Yes? Yes?
The man is decomposing visibly. The body is reluctant to let go of. You're going to need to summon all...
Whoa.
Yeah, fuck it to pieces for us.
It's not completely useless. You're able to reveal a little more of... It feels like the leg is going to come off along with the... See? The corpse doesn't care if you try to take his boots. He doesn't need them. He's probably glad to get rid of them. It's heavier than you'd think. You're forced to drop it back down immediately. The corpse lands on the ground with a nauseating thud. Something cracks in the left leg. It really is about to come off. The leg, I mean. This is the right method. It takes some time, but eventually the boots come off.
Look, he's skinning the fucker up.
Hell, keep...
The legs look like they've been clawed at by wild animals. As for the... Yes, these absolutely need to be washed. Didn't the Whirling have a kitchen?
Shoot, Looney Rooney. Come back later, Corpo.
Fuck does Kuno care? Kuno...
This industrial gas-powered stove has been used to prepare food for many hungry. A commercial pot draws your attention. It's very large, far away, in the darkness of a makeshift morgue behind Station 41's Lazarus. There is a variety of soaps and bleaches in the cabinet. This is gonna take the hard stuff too. Use as much as you can. The delicious smells of cheaps. All right now, chef. Light up the stove and boil them. The strong smell of vinegar forces you to step away from the pot. The water strips of polymer fabric and human tissue separate from the lining of the boots. They float to the bubbling surface. A two-course dinner of rotten flesh and hardened. The boots look cleaner and cleaner. Those bits of human flesh, just like beef stew. That's it, chef. The boots are as clean as they're going to get. Steam dense with the smell of strain. A pair of real beauties. The boots are shiny, hot, and reek of vinegar. Just perfect.